6 months ago, if you asked me on my opinion on roguelike games, I would have told you I'm not very fond of them. I really couldn't get into games like Dead Cells or Into the Breach. I really can't think of a game that could even change my cemented opinion towards this particular genre, and I gotta say, I was pretty skeptical about how many people were saying Hades was amazing. So does this game really fill in the hype and the commendation that everyone is giving it? Let's dive in and find out. Hades is a roguelike action dungeon crawler video game developed and published by Supergiant Games. So it's recently been released for PlayStation and Xbox on August 13 and is priced at $24.99. In this game, you as a player control Zagreus, the son of Hades, as you attempt to escape from the underworld to reach Mount Olympus with the aid of other Olympians. There are many levels to complete the game, and you play different levels with only one try. Something like what Let's Play says all the time: if you're dead, you're dead. For that whole run, of course. Each run challenges you through a random series of rooms filled with enemies and rewards, which sounds dull, but the mechanics of this game defines the fun factor that the game contributes time and time again. So what do I mean by that? The game has a hack and slash combat system, and you'll be able to use a combination of main weapon attacks, dash power and magic range abilities to defeat your enemies while avoiding damage to progress as far as possible. And of course, when you die, you will have to reset your run. Duh. Be warned though, you will die a lot, but you will gain treasure to improve certain attributes or unlock new weapons and abilities to improve your subsequent runs. And that's what I believe attracts many to these kind of games. The opportunity to improve and kick ass the next run constantly feeds you into wanting to do more and more runs. Each run also feels different, and that's why the mechanics play an important role in making this game enjoyable each time you die, despite the fact that you might rage quit a few times. Okay, maybe a couple of times. The core gameplay of Hades is what really drew me into it, and as a Souls fan, the action combat of Hades really intrigued me. The other Olympians will grant Zagreus abilities called boons to help fight the enemies that protect the exit from the underworld. The boons themselves are themed based on the Olympian, for example with Zeus providing lightning damage effects, and Poseidon with waves or pushback effects. The connection with Greek mythology really makes the game sleek and unique. Often players will somehow understand the abilities of Zeus and Poseidon, because universally everybody knows that they are associated with the powers of lightning and water. So that's where it really gets the connection with the player subconsciously, which I really like about the game itself. And also it supports the context of the story. Definite plus point. The game does actually a great job of hooking you from the beginning to the end through the unlockable system. There's a good balance between overall progression like strengthening yourself over time and per run progression, as the said boons will change you up on each run. However, combat turns slightly stale as you only press a few buttons to execute the attack, and this at times might ruin the experience for some. I absolutely get why it's so universally loved, and rightfully so. And I can honestly say I've never played anything quite like it. Okay, that might also be from the fact that I've only played a few roguelike games before, but also because of the fact that it packs so many surprises and lovely details. One of the details that I really love is the art style. I gotta say that it's well polished, but the art style wasn't so distracting that it will veer my focus from the game. But rather it's subtle and somehow adds like pink sprinkles on top of donut. It's really that good. The contrast of the enemies and the environment allows you to distinguish them easily, and especially when it gets really crazy. It is really lovely to see vibrant colors splash out of the screen while maintaining that cartoony look that the game itself intends to create. As for the story, the lore and the characters are rich in personality. Each character design is distinctive and creative, with the insane amounts of interaction and changing dynamics between them. I really didn't expect all of that from a game like this, and I think it's what kept me going for longer than I probably would have otherwise. I feel like the story itself takes more of a front seat compared to other games in the genre looking at you Dead Cells, so you feel like you're making progress. Voice acting wise, it's honestly good. Have a listen.
You know how it goes. I hope your father cuts his sentence short.
I hope so too. If you do see him, tell him I said hi.
Mr. Hypnos, do you maybe think that you could, keep an eye on the procession line before Lord Hades, like you were supposed to?
As you can see, the characters all have great interactions that show their depth, and I feel real progress was being made talking to all the characters, and that made the game really enjoyable. So what keeps me coming back to this game? Often I find myself saying just one more run, and it has become the mantra for this game. So this game rewards you at every turn. Then more stories revealed. Then another buff you haven't seen or used before shows up. It constantly rewards you for switching weapons, talking to NPCs, taking risks, and exploring what you can. It all feels incredibly rewarding and insanely deep. Honestly, I would argue one would need to experience this game themselves rather than watch someone else experience it. Once I found out a chaos room whereby you can actually be bestowed upon certain buffs but with certain drawbacks like 65% more enemies. And the time you take to choose the buffs will take ages. And I think that element of decision making is something that contributes to the special factor to this game itself. Overall, Hades is a fun, charming game with insane replayability due to different build varieties and story. This was an absolute blast to play. I would love to have more content for this game featuring other Olympians and more weapons, but honestly it already really feels like a complete and engaging experience. The first time I played it, I couldn't really put it down for hours. The art and story are both gorgeous and it contributes to the value of this game itself. I finished 2 runs and I'm compelled to keep going to see the true ending. So if you guys watch my videos, I rate the games that I review from 1 to 10 and this game is a definite 9 out of 10 and it is a definite must buy. You must buy it right now. If you have the Game Pass, you should download it right now as well because it is available for download in the Game Pass. So what do you guys think about the game? Leave your comments down below. If you guys liked that video and made it this far, please do subscribe and smash the like button down below because I really appreciate the support. And also do follow my social media accounts, links in the description below. Have a nice day and as usual, peace out.